Hey everybody, Patrick here. Today I'm going to review a game of Azalea against Oscilio, and I've reviewed a game of Oscilio against Azalea before, where I was playing as Oscilio, and it was on a pretty unrefined Oscilio list, and I don't think that the game was that representative of what the matchup should look like, so I think I found a better example of it. And I think that this matchup should be pretty Azalea favored. I think that the Oscilio is definitely not dead in the water here. They do have a chance to just explode and kill you, right? It's going to be a short game. I'm expecting something like 3 to 5 turns. And if they can find a really good combo turn in there, then, and you can't disrupt them meaningfully, it can be a bad time. But I think on average, I think we're favored. But let's get into it. And starting off with the equipment, you'll notice that I'm bringing in Bullseye Bracer. I'm not bringing in Long Draw Half Glove, even though I think it is possible, just because the Oscilios can run Warmongers just like Aurora can. But I think that they need that slot to be a little bit more aggressive. If I start seeing Oscilio lists with Warmongers as just the common de facto bring in, then I'll switch it over to Long Draw possibly. Death Dealer, only bow I'm running. Tunic, I'm not running Spellfray in either the chest or the legs. I don't think we need it against Oscilio. Their combo is not really dependent on their combo is not dependent on the arcane damage being the focal point, and Spellfray would just be there in the legs and chest to stop them from getting surge on key effects, but I don't think we need that. I think AB2 is enough. And even then, we're going to pop our gloves at some point, probably. So AB1 and Spellfray 2 just doesn't cut it for me. Speaking of, Skullbone, AB1 also can block, and the activation is really good. I'm not running anything else. I don't care if they draw cards, so Balance of Justice is not my go-to. I don't think I need the block there. I'd rather just be aggressively finding the cards I need. Then finally, Snapdragon Scalers. Like I already said, it's not Spellfray. I think I just need the aggression here, so Snapdragon is really good for that. Into the list, I'm bringing a total of 60 cards. So the main board is 49. That means 11 are coming in. First, I'm bringing in 3 Battering Bolt. I think this is a good call against Lightning Heroes. It still exists in my sideboard, so I'm still testing it out there. But I think 3 is a good number to bring in for Lightning, just because they can still play out a lot of their instants, but you force them to play out their instants in a way where they're not getting proper value per card. If they just drop a Sigil of Lightning on my turn, then they're not getting the fact that they played a Lightning card and playing an instant. So it's just not a good rate for them. So this really can force them to play out cards in a terribly suboptimal way. As well, you just force them to play into Unknown by either Cilio cycling or even just getting pinged by this and discarding a bunch of instances is game winning. So really good card. I think it's worth it just in case it does slip through. The rest of them though, I'm bringing in 3 Infecting Shot. This is just a 1 for 7. I need to race in this matchup. Rend the Ledger, not much more to say other than this is great in matchups where the opponent wants to go multiple chain links wide with their attacks, and Oscilio definitely wants to do that. They want to go multiple chain links on their combo and even a couple chain links wide on their sort of middling turns. And then finally, I'm bringing in 2 Spire Sniping. This is just a blue, it's a 3 block, and it enables me to play Battering Bolt a little bit smoother. All right, let's hop into it though. Okay, here we are in game. I win the die roll, choosing to go first. I've said it before, but I think you do want to go first against these Lightning Heroes. The best case is you just get a really effective on-hit, and they can't play out any of their instants for permanents on board. Worst case is you end up just getting 5 cards, and worst case is you end up getting 5 cards, but they still establish a set of permanents on the board. So here I wasn't able to dominate something, and I don't have an on-hit on the first shot, but I like the way that I did this because I'm just testing their ability to block 9, and I might get some equipment out of them, which would be worth it. But here you can see that they're just blocking 3. They're taking 6, and I'm just happy to reload my Rend the Ledger, get my opt off of it. Battering Bolt's a good card. I'll leave that on top. If I don't draw blue, I'm happy to pop my Bullseye Bracer here. Even though it brings me down to AB1, it's still worth the pressure that I would get. So on their side, we see they're discarding a Sigil of Solace. So that's kind of an interesting inclusion for Oscilio, so I'm taking note of that. But they do get a Channel Valley, so pretty good. Null Shock, so they're just going to ping me for 1 here. Ping me for 2 because they're activating Volzar here, I'm assuming. Oh, never mind. They pitched a red. Okay, so they discarded a Sigil of Solace and pitched a Sigil of Solace. All right, that's fine by me. And they drew a Sigil of Brilliance off of the Channel Valley. Also kind of fine, I guess. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to use all of their cards next turn. So, yeah, take 5. They're starting at 25. I'm at 39. They have the Channel Valley and Sigil to start their turn. So they're basically taking their first turn with 6 cards in exchange for taking 11 damage. Fair trade? I don't know. that sounds pretty good to me. As long as they don't just kill me here, or do a bunch of damage, which is pretty much impossible because they're underneath Red in the Ledger. The most they could do is like give some big arcane, and I think that's about it. Like I think they could eclectic and then do some big arcane with a bunch of instants. That's probably about the worst thing they could do here. So I think absolute worst, they're presenting something like 5 plus 3, or I guess 5 plus 4 plus what is that? 5 plus 4 plus, I don't know, another 3, let's say. So worst case, they're presenting 12 damage. And they're missing a blue, so immediately it's kind of scuffed. But I'm expecting them to just arsenal a card here. Like, maybe get a non-attack in here, and then just arsenal a card. There's no way I'm blocking this. This hand is, I think it does exactly what I said I was going to do, or option 2, which is pop the Bullseye Bracer to load in the Battering Bolt and then shoot it off. I could also just Death Dealer. That's probably a better idea, right? Since I did draw a yellow. I don't know. Either or, honestly, I probably should just Death Dealer instead of Bullseye. Because I just draw red and then pitch that anyways. Okay, well, I do go with the Bullseye. That's fine. I guess the 1 damage is maybe worth it here, just forcing them to do something. Like it's just forcing action. And then I'm coming for 10. Yeah, I mean, overall, I actually like that. It might look a little bit weird, but I think this game's going to be quick enough. They're already just about at half health. So I'm okay with pressuring them here, not letting them set up. They have the Channel Valley, so making them respond to this is not the craziest thing to do. I don't know. That's an interesting line actually that I took. All right, I'm getting 2 pieces of equipment. Their flash is going to let them discard a card. They discard the Sigil of Conductivity, bouncing the Brilliance, drawing a card, and then replaying the Brilliance on their turn. So they're dodging the Battering Bolt effect right here. Are they going to Somersault? No, they already missed the window for Somersault. Okay, so they have an Etchings and a Blast to Oblivion. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I think here I actually cut out like 3 minutes. They had to think, and that indicates that they're going to go for a combo. And yeah, they're just going to combo off here after thinking for a couple minutes. I do need to say that I'm happy that I arsenaled the Lace with Inertia. I think trying to just sort of like hold on to my pumps, hold on to like my disruptive effects and spread them out is a really good way to help win this game. So just having another Arsenal Disruption and trying to stop them from setting up is a big deal because they're underneath Seek and Destroy here, and they'll likely be under Lace with Inertia next turn. On their side, though, they're not presenting any disruption. There's no way that I'm going to stop this Channel Valley. I could consider trying to. Like, I could put an arrow in front of it plus a piece of equipment like my Skullbone, but I don't think that's worth it right now. Maybe that was correct. Maybe I should be blocking out like that and just blocking aggressive. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with just taking this damage. I started the turn at 31, I believe. So let's see how much damage they can do here. No, I think they just passed over a priority window there. Oh, no, they want to change with their play. Maybe they drew a card off the channel that changed their options here. Okay, so the etchings I knew about. So I don't know, it was the Fry. They drew the Fry off the channel because I knew the 2 cards on their hand from the Battering Bolt. Okay, and then they had the Gone, the Flash, and Arsenal. Okay, fine. And where do they draw the Sigil from? Oh no, they bounced. Oh, they drew this. Yeah, okay, they drew the Fry or the Sigil off of the Brilliance. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's where the 2 different cards came from. But yeah, they did 22 damage there, so pretty good combo turn for them. Not the best, but I really forced their hand there. And the fact that they're now, they have again the same setup, right? Sigil Brilliance and Channel Valley, like they've had a pretty good turn in terms of keeping their like setup going. So a little bit scary, but I also do scary things. I'm going to be coming in for, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 17. 17 here with a Lace, Ponder, and Bloodrot, Ponder, and an Inertia on hit. So pretty good. I can't complain about my estate either. Obviously, they can still do some pretty nasty stuff on this coming turn. I wouldn't be surprised if they blocked with the... No, I was gonna say block with the Aether Binding and try to do some stuff with Arcane, but I think having Rend the Ledger here is actually pretty life-saving. If it was just Battering Bolt, I think I also could have made some stuff happen, but that's a little bit more dependent on what's in their hand here. I'm half expecting them to try and keep the channel around somehow. So they activated Oscilio, putting the high voltage in Grave on their turn. Sigil pops. Drawing a card. They still have the Channel Valley around, right? So I need to be worried about them getting a card there. But being under Rend the Ledger makes it a little bit less frightening. So here I'm afraid that if I let this hit, they could draw a card off of the Channel Valley and then in the resolutions still hit me with the non-attack action if they don't have it in hand. So that's why I'm considering blocking this out. I'm considering putting this Skullbone in front of it here because I already have the Endless Arrow on Arsenal. So I can just go like, pump 4 or pump 3 and then shoot for 13. That's really good. And especially when they're at 7, it might just be a kill shot. They might just not have it. So keeping the gas on is, I think, the way to go here. I think I'm happy to just block 5 here, give up my Tunic. That's fine. I'm not going to get another activation. Giving up the Skullbone, I think, is fine as well. I don't need to sift that hard for cards to play, I think. Additionally, right here, I have the option to just go take aim, release, then Endless Arrow, then snaps, take aim, shoot the Endless Arrow again. I think I should be going with that line because there's no way that they're going to be able to block 10 on this. They could have three blocks and then put their gloves in front of it, and that's fine by me. I'd be okay to just Arsenal the take aim. So I think I should be doing that instead of, instead of this. I vaguely remember this, that I made a misplay here, and I mentally sort of took stock of it during game. After it, I think I realized right here, oh man, I should have gone with that other line. Because it's just a straight misplay. If my Snapdragons end the game on the board, I consider that, and it's a close game like this, then I consider that to be I did something wrong. Because here I can convert them into another 4 damage. Yeah, they might have another 3 block, but I'd be okay with that, them giving up 3 cards. Okay, so that's Sigil of Solace. So I think that's all sigils. 1's pitched, 2 are in grave. Goes back to hand. Yep. Yeah, that's kind of tough to see. I wish I'd blocked properly right there. And they had Fry. Okay, they wouldn't have been able to block it. They could have discarded the sigil, I guess, look for another 3 block, but right here I should just be putting my Infecting Shot in front of this. I have a pretty good play here where I don't need the Infecting Shot. I just block with that. Then I go Endless, snaps, then do I just have lethal with knock, actually? Yeah, I probably just have lethal with knock anyways. So I think a million different ways to get lethal here that don't include infecting shot. So I think that's a free block. Again, I remember I have like vague rememberings of this game, and I think that I made some mistakes towards the end game when I basically just gave my opponent openings where they shouldn't have had them, and it left kind of a sour note in my mouth, in my brain. Yeah, this is one of them. I just don't block, right? They get 3, they get their draw, so they get an arsenal, or they get to swing another 4. And the painful thing about them swinging for more damage here is it gets me into kill range with Volzar because I don't have AB, so I have to block this. If I go to 2, then they can go shock, hold priority, Volzar, and then shock me for 2. So I need to block this. I know that they're playing the null shock. So, and they also, I think I saw Comet Storm shock, which is a little bit less frightening because I need more pitch, but yeah, I can't play around that. Or I have to play around that, sorry. Because that would be heartbreaking if I just died here to 2 Arcane Ping that I don't have AB for, when I could have just like easily played around it. And here, I'm going for the play that I probably should have done last turn, where I send in the Endless Arrow and then snaps it. Yep. And then I have a million different ways to get lethal here. I have knock. They're taking 2, so they're down to 1. They don't have sigil. I already know they don't. I don't think they're a Count Your Blessings deck. We haven't seen any of those. We're more than halfway through. So yeah, I think I'm okay to just do whatever. Like I can just knock them here and shoot an arrow at them. So a million different ways to get lethal. If they have like, even if they have unmovable, I think I can still get over that no matter what. Just get the highest power arrow here. Yeah, Battering Bolt looks good. It'll come in for 9, so yeah. 9 dominate, pretty good. And that should be game, unless there's something crazy that happens right here. Yep, let's see. 9 dominate. GG. Here we're on the post game, and that was a pretty fun game. I think that my opponent played very well. I think they played to their outs a lot. It was nice to see that they were using the hero ability very liberally and trying to just crap their hands. So that was really cool to see. I think that the hero ability using at the proper times and the right amount is a good skill testing quality to Oscilio. As well, they did a really good job at crafting their hand and then actually identifying where they could pop off. The turn where they, like the fact they brought Blossom of Spring as well as Flash of Brilliance is really cool to see people bringing these sort of, I guess, sort of more niche pieces of equipment, even though Flash of Brilliance is new. But it's interesting seeing like these more niche pieces of equipment that enable them to pop off or actually combo off when they see the opportunity and play around it. So well played by my opponent. I think that honestly both of us got pretty lucky in terms of our draw sequence. They had a really good opportunity to keep around the Channel Valley for multiple turns, as well as the Sigil of Brilliance, and that made the game a lot more difficult for me. But inversely, or on the flip side, I've managed to find what I think I shot 2 around the ledgers and 2 battering bolts, and it was like a 4-turn game. So that's pretty wild. Yeah, that was. I think I definitely drew pretty nicely, but I also did a good job of metering my threats. Like I think when I held on to the Lace with Inertia instead of also stapling it onto the battering bolt I shot, I think that was pretty heads up. As well as interesting to see the usage of the Bullseye Bracer alongside the battering bolt on turn 2, where I decided to pop the Bullseye Bracer, and then since I drew a yellow, just shoot battering bolt. Instead of doing something like pitching the yellow to draw and then make my consideration there, which probably was correct. I think I should have just drawn there off of the Death Dealer, but it was interesting to see that I don't know. I'm actually kind of torn on that. I think it was an interesting line, and the fact that I got to a breakpoint of 10 definitely could have been the difference maker for how that went down. So, yeah, interesting play by me there. Other than that, I think I made maybe like I already pointed them out, but right in the end game where I was giving my opponent opportunities to get back in the game, where I could have snapped my Endless Arrow and probably just ended the game a turn sooner. I think that was the play. I think I just straight up misplayed. Maybe there is something I was opening myself to, but honestly, I think that was a pretty good spot for improvement. And then in the end, I just kind of like lazed around, and I should have been a little bit snappier to end the game when I had like a million different lines to lethal. But it is still good in these practice games to take half a second to, or more than half a second, take an extra 5-10 seconds. Think, how am I going to lose this game? So when you're in a tournament setting or a more serious setting, you ask yourself, how do I lose this game? And then you think back to situations where you lost a game like this. For example, if I had lost to the shock Volzar at instant speed by not like on that last turn by going down to 2, that would have stuck in my brain. So those are the questions that I'm asking when I take an extra couple seconds. So that's kind of peering into what I'm doing there. Other than that, pretty well played game from both sides. Well played opponent. I think they did a great job. I think we both just got lucky, and my deck is more impressive when it gets lucky than theirs is. Thanks for watching. If you had any questions about my choices in game, or you noticed something I could have done better, don't be shy to leave a comment. Also, check out the description for the deck list as well as a link to FaBrary. Thanks again, and until next video.